turns out that the December 2017 release of the, quote, gun sight video, unquote, released by the DoD was faked by unknown government agents. The video was really low quality when high-resolution footage exists. The video was actually infrared from another jet's exhaust. The audio was dubbed over with agents reading a script. Pilots always use formal language, not dude or other exclamations. The cover story about the leaker was totally bogus, and to top it all off, the government has classified details about where the clip came from in the first place, hiding the paper trail that would prove authenticity. Could this clip signal a shift of military from Earth targets to ET targets?
Well, let's exclude everything except the very last sentence in that long paragraph, because none of that's true. What the person is saying. This is that same old thing of just, pulling out of the sky somewhere some theory that has no factual basis at all. None of that's true of what you're saying, that the December 2017 release was faked and that there was voiceover. None of that's true. Okay, but the last sentence in the question is operative. Could this clip signal a shift of military from Earth targets to ET targets? I wouldn't consider it a shift, but what it is, it's the opening up of a potential pathway into the future. Of they're not going to not any longer target Earth-based targets through the military. They still tribal up to the seizure of the oil fields there to be a source of military force application. They also are constantly viewing North Korea as a source of military force opposition, and of course Russia, as much as they can get away with, and of course Venezuela and any places that don't agree with allowing the elite that govern the United States to impose capitalist, transnational corporate capitalist economic development on the rest of the world. So that those are the targets of the primary military application of force on the part of our military and the Pentagon and Defense Department and related intelligence agencies. But what this revelation on December of 2017 is, it's demonstrating that the military-industrial complex is attempting to open another market for their contracts, and this is that they're trying to raise up now the bugaboo of potential extraterrestrial threats to the planet. There's not any doubt about it. You can see that the people that are all involved in the release of that video are completely dominated by the national security state military intelligence people who previously worked in the Pentagon. They're all involved in this thing, and they're attempting to draw other people, civilians, people who have a different worldview about the extraterrestrial presence, a much more positive disposition toward the development of that in a peaceful manner. They're trying to draw them in under the umbrella to designate this all as a fundamental dialectic, that there are these threats, like Luis, who is the executive director of this To the Stars Academy, is that we talked about it last time, where he says, he relates the UFO phenomenon by saying, well, look, if you lock your windows and doors every night, and in a given night you get up and you wake up in the morning and there's muddy boot prints over your carpet, something has happened. You don't know how they got in, you don't know who it is, but you have to do something to protect yourself against this. And that's the exact metaphor that he is using, and the people from the To the Stars Academy are using, to suggest that we have to view the UFO phenomenon as a threat, and that we have to work at it through the prism of the military to try to figure out who the forces are behind these UFOs, but to treat them as a threat to us. Now, that's because this whole group of people came out of the aerial advanced threat assessment division of the Pentagon, and they've just basically exported that particular department inside the United States Pentagon out into the private sector now as to the Stars Academy. So that yes, very much so, the release of that gun sight footage was undertaken by the To the Stars Academy and by the Pentagon without any doubt with the objective of getting people to come in under the umbrella of the national security state to attempt to deal with the question of the unidentified flying objects as potential threats to the national security, not only of the United States, but of our planet. So it is the ultimate ideal for a military-industrial complex to try to justify the massive transfer of hundreds of billions of dollars a year to that military enterprise, which goes to their corporations to try to develop technology to purportedly protect ourselves against a potentially hostile threat from off Earth. So the answer to that last question is, could this clip signal a shift of military from Earth targets to ET targets? The answer is not a complete shift, but in fact an opening up of an additional market for the military-industrial complex. But the rest of that question, all those postulates that lead into that, were all completely false.